If the first game breaks no get you know let us put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, do the games after this win in. First year game, we're here for the first May. Carry five teams every 6 minutes.
Rocky Top! You'll always be. Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
The culture that Hype and everyone has created in this building, it's been phenomenal on teams, and we're only going to continue to be better. And the standard around here, I've said it before, I'll say it again, standard is to be the damn best. And we're never stopping.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. They said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talkin VAWLS and my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Another shot, she'll love me again. Run that back, turbo. Make it a double.
Whiskey, whiskey, won't you go away? Come again some other day. 'Cause a memory came out to play, and I'm tired of it, tired of it. I don't wanna wonder where she been.
Where she at?
She was here, now she gone again. Now it's me and all my whiskey friends, and I'm tired of it, tired of it.
Yeah, dark brown skin, caught eye contact while walking in. On the walk up. Perfect timing, get beside me, now we locking in. She like, tell me how you want it, on the rocks again. What else? Little salt around the rim, okay. Feel to the top again. Let go. Fell back, now I'm back in it. Deal shots got me sending. Big rapper DJ ain't skinny, playing Richard Mille Square business. See me in the club, two-stepping, diamonds around my neck, square dancing. You done made a gangster romantic, fiending for your love, I'm an addict. Hey. So addicted, ain't no we can do about it. Nah. Country motherfucker, I say what's up, she say howdy. Call you my little cowgirl, how you ride it like a stallion. Don't know why I love it, can't get tired of it. I'm on you bad.
Whiskey, whiskey, won't you go away? Come again some other day. 'Cause a memory came out to play, and I'm tired of it, tired of it. I don't wanna wonder where she been.
Where she at?
She was here, now she gone again. Now it's me and all my whiskey friends, and I'm tired of it, tired of it. Put you up and hide you on the shelf, I swear I'm through with you. You so hard to leave it alone, it's always something new with you. Ain't nowhere to get her gone, gone, gone. So I guess I'm gonna tie one on. She's so cold, I had to go and pour you over ice.
Good Friday morning. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. He's Coach Jay. We're back here in the back room doing some of this stuff. Man, we're getting ready. We're getting fired up. You guys are fired up. You guys, look at Ball Fan for Life. Likes the intro. I'm glad you guys like it. We were talking in the back room, having a good time, man. Played some EA Sports College football yesterday with Culberson. He put a beating on me. We hung out for 2 hours, man. We hung out for 2 hours just shooting the bull, talking a little Vols, talking a little football. And he was talking about the intro. He's like, dude, he's like, you just get it. He's like, you get it. You understand it's not about the ad revenue. It's about setting the tone. It's about setting the tone for the show. You got to have a good intro every now and then. I'm laughing at you guys in the chat because you all are talking about everything that we were talking about right before we went live. Matt Bagley says, been there with you on the tailbone, Boogie. You'd know if it's broken, though. So damn painful. Well, I'm in pain, Matt Begley. So Drew UT Law says, did Boogie fall again? Do we need to get a Med Alert bracelet? Let me tell you something. Every time I walk down the steps now, I'm grabbing onto the rail. You freaking.
We could get you one of the chairs that just brings you up and down, Boogie. There you go.
That's what we need. That's
there
what we
you go.
need. But then I'm afraid it would be like Gremlins, and like I would get shot through the back wall of the house. Most likely. Oh man. Good times are at hand. Check this out. Coach Jay posted this on Twitter. 2 years to the day. What is this memory from? Does Twitter give memories?
It's from Mrs. J.
Okay.
It's
2
from
years ago.
Mrs. J. Yeah, it's from Mrs. J. She clipped it. Full disclosure. I mean, hey man, I was happy to be on. I was excited to be on. I was a fan of the show, always lurking. Shout out to the lurkers out there. But yeah, I was always lurking, and as you all know, before the Bama game, I think it was back in 22, I kind of felt like I had some insight with some of my connections to some of the players in that game, and thought it'd be fun to kind of come on as a Tennessee Vol fan. And like I said, it's been kind of nothing but a fun ride, and awesome to be on the show, and appreciate all the love the Vol family has kind of given me over the last 2 years. So thank you to y'all, and many more years to come.
It's so crazy. Like, and I posted this when I posted the picture last year when you guys came in and me and you and Dauber took a picture. It's like, man, two dudes that grew up together in East Tennessee and a dude from the other side of the country that are getting together, hanging out, breaking bread, having some drinks, all because of Tennessee football. It's like, look, nobody comes to my house ever. And you and Mrs. J could be crashing here in a couple of weeks, and it's like, why? Because it all started over a connection of ball football. It's crazy. But I'm looking at this picture. Of course, I see Matt, me, Dauber, X. That's the dude that used to drive a truck and hates me because we didn't let him host the show. That always talking about. Dang it, what was he talking about?
I don't remember.
It was some county. It wasn't Greene County. Was it Polk County? Always talking about Polk County. And yeah, he hates me now. I wonder how many people have been on the fan call-in show that now hate me. Of course, you got Robert down here. I don't know who that is on the bottom right, though. Don't know who that is. Anyway, 2 years, man. 2 years. Let's see what the chat's up to. You guys are paying for that Morgan Wallen intro. Billy Todd drops the $2 door fee, dropping those Boogie and Coach J emojis, and also a cup of coffee. I got my coffee and two. I mean, is this a problem? I mean, look at it. Is this a problem? This is just to get ready for one morning. I mean, this is I think I got a problem. But get your coffee ready. Little Spooky been a member for 23 months. We appreciate you, brother. Little Spooky also drops a $2 super chat. Says door fee. Talking Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Yesterday's video. Somebody said I got more comments about that Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich than I did Tennessee football. More comments. I need to just talk food. Somebody goes, Boogie, that was a video and it felt like it was a live stream. And I was like, I was trying to tell my wife why I wanted Chick-fil-A.
Is Chick-fil-A breakfast better than McDonald's breakfast?
Yes. Oh, it's not even close. But they got the chicken minis. It's basically like a chicken nugget in a little tiny. Oh,
yeah,
so good.
Dude. I put a little bit of honey on that. A little hot honey. Oh, ooh. Now I'm hungry.
This was the task at hand. The bag was acquired. Chick-fil-A chicken pimento cheese sandwich. I give it a solid A. Right amount of sweet, right amount of spicy. Somebody said they didn't put enough cheese on there. Oh, it was loaded. You just couldn't really see it from that angle. I recommend it. Ads work on me. So yeah, talking Chick-fil-A. Somebody said I need to start doing food reviews. Maybe soon. Tony Canada for 2. What's up, my friend? Hope you are doing well. Retro for 2. Also thoughts and prayers for Retro. Thing going on, man. Praying for you, buddy. Ball fan for live for 2. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate it. Big Trey for 5 says morning Ball fam. Shout out to my brother Too Hottie, listening, driving over from West Texas to the heart to watch our Vols beat the brakes off that pig suey. Shout out to Too Hottie. Who's Too Hottie? Right? Appreciate the $5 super chat. Sean Cross is here for 5. Says I'll be on vacation next week. I'll jump in on Tuesday and drop some funds for someone else to play. Vacation needed. Well, man, you don't have to do that, but that is very kind. If you want to volunteer your super chat for somebody else to play, enjoy vacation, man. Enjoy your vacation. Knoxville Predator catcher for 5. I only lost to Coach J because I got glasses yesterday.
That was it. Thank God, man. I caught a lucky break.
Did y'all talk any ball, or y'all just focused dialed?
We talked a little ball. We talked a little bit about the Arkansas game and some of the matchups. We definitely talked some ball. So looking forward to the next matchup. I'm not sure who I play. Coach Rice keeps
I think you play Culberson.
Okay, Penn State.
Yeah, because he beat me. He beat me yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, so it's going to be a real rock fight. Notre Dame versus Penn State, 2 running defensive teams. It's going to be like 6-3.
Me and Culberson, I told you, we talked for like 2 hours after we played. He said that Dauber is actually giving up less points per game than anybody else in the dynasty, but he's 8-4. So Dauber can't play offense apparently.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Dauber was saying he wasn't very good. So when I saw him in the playoffs, I was like, wait, what? And he's
How is he in the
8-4?
playoffs?
Who's,
I guess
who's
he's
he
conference
playing with
champion.
again?
Utah. I guess he's conference champion.
Oh, okay. Because I know my son got bounced and he was 8-4 too. So I was like, what the heck happened?
But
But
he's
I'm
Oklahoma,
happy
right?
he got bounced though, because he kind of knows everything I do and tends to beat me when we play. So I was happy to see you guys bounce him. Thank you guys.
By the way, we are in the playoffs for the Talkin VAWLS EA Sports College Football Dynasty. So if you want to get in, now's the time to do it. There's a link in the description to the Patreon where this is what it's supposed to be, because now that we're into the playoffs, all the games are user games. Everybody's hanging out. Everybody's talking ball. We're having a good time now. We're having a good time. Jody Wooten for 5 says, I really don't think this game is going to be close. Appreciate you, Jody. Dylan for 5 says, why do the Arkansas Razorbacks eat cereal straight from the box? They choke whenever they get near a bowl. Patrick for 2 says, got my Colt member shirt this week. Shout out, Patrick. Appreciate you, brother. You guys can get your Colt member shirts, bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. Working on a couple of new designs. Hopefully those will be dropping soon. Ronald Nickel for 20. That's Orange Boy. We love Orange Boys around here. Ronald said, screw it. I'll pay for all the ad revenue for Morgan Wallen. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Ronald says, Vols 42. Arkansas 10. I like it. I like that prediction. I've still got my confidence, man. We'll see how we wake up feeling tomorrow. But thank you, Ronald. Thank all you guys for the super chats. Let's see. Let's open it up with this. This is kind of funny, and I know I already know how you're gonna respond to this, but we're gonna do it anyway. So Arkansas announces their captains for the game coming up tomorrow night. Danico Slaughter, Addison Nichols, front and center. By design, I'm sure they vote. I'm sure this is a player vote, don't you?
It could be, but I got to tell you, did you ask Coach Rice about this or no?
No, because I don't think this came out yesterday.
This is commonplace in football, though, for old team members who are playing against other team members. Certainly in the high school ranks, it has been for a long time, and probably Pop Warner too. I've seen it in Pop Warner as well as high school, to have captains. As a matter of fact, a lot of times at the lower levels, you'll see them be the only captains. And then I've also seen it happen a lot where those two will walk out and the whole team will walk out lined up behind them by like 5 or 6 yards to try to, I don't know, build something brick by brick or some kind of other Butch Jonesism to pump everyone up. I don't know. I
love dropping Butchisms. And I do it all the time when I'm on Kaner's show. I don't know if people understand that it's all a bit. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's very funny.
I just think it's funny. But yeah, I know this was not a big deal. I think fans care way more about this than the players do. You know, I don't know that it's the case. I'm going to speculate and say that I believe it's the case that these two guys were asked to leave. I don't know that. That's purely just speculation. I think they were asked to leave. So as a teammate, when your brother's asked to leave, like there's no ill will there. There's no anger there. And even watching the Players Lounge this week, you know, Jake Merklinger was like, you know, I obviously didn't play with those guys, but when I was on my recruiting trip, I met Addison Nichols and he was very hospitable. He was cool. He's like, I would like to maybe catch him after the game. He's like, I know all you guys are going to be, you know, hitting him up and hugging him and talking to him. He's like, I just like to, you know, go up and say hi. These guys don't have – now, some people like Gerald Mincy, yeah, there's a little ill will there, but I don't see that here.
Yeah, no, I don't really think so. Addison, he just wasn't going to be able to start, and I kind of mentioned it. You know what? I won't give out the goat for the pregame tomorrow, but let's just put it this way: I think we'll do well against Arkansas's offensive line. Danico, I think could affect this game a lot more than Addison. I think he is kind of more of a true nickel than he was ever a corner or a safety. He just was never breaking in our rotation at star at the time. And man, the kid can lay a hit. I mean, think back to that hit against Kentucky that jarred the ball loose and forced the interception. The kid had a lot of big hits. He just couldn't quite. Man, he was so close. Thinking back to a lot of his coverages in corner, he'd be right on the receiver, but he'd always have like that back shoulder caught on him, or he'd be too short, or he wouldn't track the ball quick enough. So I like the Nico Slaughter is a player and kind of his attitude on the field, and he certainly gives a ton of effort. He just came up a little short, man, and that's how it goes sometimes. Not to load up the dart, but Joe Milton gave his all for Tennessee and busted his butt, and it was just a little short of what we needed. And there's nothing wrong with saying I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the effort they gave for Tennessee because they put it all out there on the field, and they came up a little short. I'm all for standing behind volunteers who do that.
I would say it's safe to say they gave a good 63 effort. Good
there you go.
Effort.
There you go. Good 60. 5-star.
Not only does Butch come up with stuff like 63 effort, he has to. What is it? There's 6 seconds in a play, and you got 3 opportunities to make an impact to start, the middle, and the fifth. Like, if it's so complex, you got to explain it to me. Like, I don't know that that's necessarily the right phrase, but apparently it is because I still use it every single day. Frankie D drops a $2 super chat. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate you, Frankie D. We got a little over 200 people watching on this Friday morning edition of Talkin VAWLS. Do me a favor, smash the thumbs up, share it out, and let people know we're live. We're like 30-some subscribers away from 28,000.
Oh, wow.
So tell somebody about Talkin VAWLS. We would appreciate it. Don't bury the lead. Again, tomorrow morning, every game day, bright and early, going to drop a video. Coach Rice is going to talk about the opposing team's offense. Coach Jay is going to talk about their defense and going to give you some keys to the game. So don't bury the lead on that. But just how do you feel about this thing going into this game tomorrow night? I have been confident all week. I've been confident all offseason. Like, this game has never concerned me. I thought Tennessee was going to go take care of business, 2-3 scores. That's still the way I feel sitting here, one more sleep away from it.
Yeah, I like the matchup. I'll give my prediction in the video tomorrow, but I really like the matchup. I like the Vols to cover. We'll also get into that during the gambling portion of the show, so don't worry, guys. We haven't forgot about you. Almost forgot about you. But
we both forgot about you, but
yeah,
we
but we didn't forget
second.
about you. Yeah, but I was going to gamble anyways, so I had the information at hand. So we are all good Vol fans. But I like the way we match up in many, many areas, from their red zone offense being one of the worst out there to them not being able to protect their quarterback. I think B gap to B gap inside pressure is going to be key in this game, and I think they're susceptible to that. And I think the Vols are loaded there. Everyone got introduced to Jackson Moy the other day. Jackson Moy is like our 3rd or 4th string defensive tackle that's going to be coming at them. Norman Lott's been a problem. Big O is always a problem. Why is the name escaping me? Number 10, Richardson, right?
Elijah
Simmons. No, why am I thinking Richardson?
That's the dude that died with the perm that dances around in blue
Okay,
shorts.
yeah. Well,
Come on, bro.
All right,
Come on,
it's like 6 a.m. in the West Coast or whatever time it is. Cut old Coach Jay break. But anyway, point is we're loaded at D-line, so we should be fine there, and I like our chances a whole lot against Arkansas. I did get a phone call from a buddy that I played a lot of ball with and worked a bit with, and big USC Trojan fan out here, and it was the old guys can't overlook them. I hear you on Talkin VAWLS overlooking them. I'm like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to steal Boogie's line here. I was like, you know what, bro? I can overlook whoever I want to.
Exactly.
But Tennessee Volunteers can't overlook everyone. And but he did bring up a valid point. You got to stay sharp and you got to stay on your game. Arkansas has been in a game with every team they've played, whether they've won or lost. So you have to be prepared for that. You have to be sharp and ready for that. It could end up a game. This is an SEC opponent who's could be undefeated, and you have to show that a ton of respect. And if you don't, you will end up in a knife fight.
I think that's a big part of it. Like, yeah, in Oklahoma State, like they're not an SEC level team, but they're not a pushover either, right? They played with Oklahoma State, should have won that game. Like you said, they've been in every game that they've lost. Josh Pate even said they're a couple of plays away from being 5-0. But guess what? If they were 5-0 and they were in the top 25, I would still feel exactly the same way I do about them right now. Like I would feel no different. But I just don't see it as a trap game, right? And I get it. Oh, you got to be dialed in, you got to be focused. But you don't. Josh Heupel, you don't think this team's dialed in and focused? I think that is a huge advantage having the COVID seniors come back. Like, there's one thing to having juniors and seniors lead your team, but to have guys that have been here 5, 6, 7 years that came back for a COVID year, those are grown men. Like, this team's got some legitimate leadership. And then even looking at Dylan Sampson on offense, I mean, I did not think the guy that went to Instagram with the cage cheetah would end up being such a big leader for this football team. And he showed it. He showed it after the bowl game against Iowa, like in the post game when he's talking about, hey, let's remember where we want to be and where we're at, and let's carry this momentum. And that bowl game kind of gave you a little glimpse of what this team was going to look like in 2024. But Dylan Sampson's a leader. Josh Heupel, a lot of success coming off of bye weeks. I know I talked about that on Wednesday. 7-1 coming off the bye, 3-0 at Tennessee coming off the bye week. I just don't think this team is going to sleep into the Arkansas game. So rat poison, trap game, none of that stuff. I don't think it impacts this team. What else do you like? What do you think about Arkansas's quarterback, Talon Green? The talk is that he's going to make plays with his legs, and I think he is. And you've talked before about you as a defensive coordinator. What are you preaching to your guys to kind of keep him contained and bottled up? How do you balance? Because I look at what he does. He can make plays with his legs, but if you pressure him and you get after him, and Arkansas's offensive line, they're terrible. They've given up more sacks than I think they're 94th in sacks allowed, 103rd in tackles for loss allowed. How do you balance getting after the quarterback, trying to pressure him because he will turn it over? He's thrown 5 interceptions. He's lost 4 fumbles. How do you balance that, getting pressure, but also keeping it in the pocket?
You got to do your job. I don't think you want to over blitz him either. You want to. I think what Banks has been doing pretty much every game has been really smart, which is just kind of coming out like a boxer, throwing a lot of jabs first round, kind of getting their tempo, getting their pace, run zone once, run man once, run zone again, maybe a different man look, maybe a different zone look. Start to see what they want to do against other looks, and start to see a philosophy building with their first couple scripted plays. So you want to be patient. You want to do your jobs. We've got the D line to beat this Arkansas team without bringing, 4 guys every play, 2 guys every play. So we should be just fine there. What do I think of their quarterback in general? Yeah, it's obviously he's made a lot of mistakes when he's been under pressure, and he can be dynamic at times. But I think Petrino needs to simplify this game for them. I think they need to dial down a little bit of the eye candy. Not that they can't have any motions, but they've got a lot going on pre-snap every play, a lot of different moving pieces. And I think at times when you're under duress and things are complicated, it really just adds to it. Petrino could do a real service to his quarterback simplifying things this week against Tennessee's defense.
Let me catch back up with you guys in the chat. Chase Markland becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Chase. We appreciate that. If you're in the chat, you're watching the shows, you're watching the videos, you like the live streams community, whatever, you can support this channel by hitting that join button. It's only $1. It's $1. Keeps the lights on around here. It allows the Friday morning show. Typically, I was working for the man, but because of all of your support, I was able to say, nope, I'm going to focus on Talkin VAWLS full steam ahead. If it fails, it fails, and I'll go back to working a 9 to 5. I'm not too proud to do that. But for now, your support means the world. Think about hitting that join button. So shout out Chase. He also drops a $5 super chat. Says Arkansas has to not lose the game before they can win the game. I mean, a wise man once said that.
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.
I mean, that's sound advice. Sound advice. He says, I don't think they can do that. 42-13 GBO. Timmy Williams for 5. Appreciate you, brother. Says Vols by 50. Arkansas don't stand a chance. I was about to ask you if this is going to be a blowout. We'll save your prediction for tomorrow morning. The game day breakdown. Game day breakdown coming to you bright and early, probably around 9-ish. We'll see what time we roll out of bed and get that thing loaded up and ready to go. Arkansas also has a pretty good running back, but this is, doing the research on it, man. He's averaging 6.5 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns through 5 games. That's pretty good. But when you really dig into it, when you dive into it, 100 yards against Arkansas Pine Bluff. They're a joke. 149 against Oklahoma State. And yeah, I'm regurgitating the exact numbers I threw out on Locked On Balls, but I thought it was interesting. 149 yards against Oklahoma State. They're 117th in the country against the run. 147 against UAB. 118th in the country against the run. You mentioned earlier, like this is the SEC. This is an SEC matchup. They struggled against Auburn, 75 yards, 3.5 or 3.4 per carry. This is Quentin Jackson. Texas A&M 37 yards, 3.7 yards per carry. So Arkansas, even though Josh Pate may say they're a couple of plays away from being 5-0, there's a big difference in SEC football. And I don't think Auburn's very good. Everybody wants to talk about Tennessee's level of competition. I don't think Auburn's very good. I don't think Texas A&M is very good. I think Tennessee is going to be able to stop the run and force, Taylon Green to go make plays. We'll see if he's able to do it. But what do you think they do to try to slow down Tennessee's offense? Like, how would you approach it? And I said this to Kaner on the video that he uploaded this morning. It's like, it's always intriguing to me. What's the opposing team's defensive coordinator? What is going to be his strategy? Is it to stack the box and slow down the run? And that Oklahoma game, we're on our third string left tackle, second string right tackle. Both guys are supposed to play this week. Is this going to be Nico's I shouldn't even call it a coming out party. He's putting up good numbers, but are we going to see a true Nico game?
Yeah, I think Nico will have a great game. I think we'll be able to run the football. I think we'll make a point to run the football B gap to B gap. But I really think we're going to be running the ball to pass. So they like to bring their nickel up. Their free safety, Metcalf, is really good at coming into that box. He's really good at showing pressure and dropping back too, so he can be a little sneaky. Metcalf is leading their free safety, their team in interceptions, and he's, I think, second on the team behind their middle linebacker, Shorley, who's pretty stout too. They'll lay a couple traps, but I think Tennessee's wide receivers will get the better of Arkansas's secondary, and I think Nico will have a big game this week. I think he'll be just fine. Now, as far as the coming out party, how dominant is Tennessee's defense, right? And I don't think that Josh Heupel will lay off the gas per se as he did like Oklahoma, but if this defense is really dominant, I think Nico could put up good stats early, but how long does he stay in if they whack him early? Like, say all the false or fan service stuff comes true. Tennessee comes out, quick start, jumps up to a huge lead. You know what I mean? They're rushing the ball for a ton of yards, equal yards passing. They're on the way to they're on their way to a 350-yard passing game if they keep throwing the ball, and maybe a 200-yard rushing game. How long's Nico in there if that defense is dominant? Could play into that, and I know it's frustrating, and you brought it up, Boogie, but when do we need Nico, right? Is maybe when he shows up. Because I think he's been shown up. I just think he's shown up and, not had to do much is basically what we've been looking at here. But the offense certainly is running smoother either way. As far as their team running the ball or not, I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against Tennessee. Auburn, for all their faults, has a pretty decent D-line. Texas A&M's got a good D-line. So I think just whenever they've played against good defensive lines, they've not been able to run the football.
Let's see. Wayne dropped a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Wayne. Says, go Vols. Good to see you in the chat on this Friday morning. We appreciate that, Wayne. It's funny to me, man. And somebody came at me in the comments. I don't even remember when it was, saying, well, you said Nico was going to be better than Hendon. And it's like, did I say that, or did I say that I thought this offense was going to be better than when Hendon ran it? And I do think Nico is going to be better than Hendon. But will we see him?
Game 4.
But will we see that, right? Let's put Nico on the 2022 team when you're having to go out against Alabama and score 52 points to win, right? It looks sexy when you've got to score every drive and you're slinging the rock all over the field. You nailed it. You nailed it. I don't remember if it was before the season or early in the season when you said, Nico is going to have the opportunity to slow this offense down. And we saw that against Oklahoma. So it's not just the fact that they were running the football. It's the fact that they were running the football and running the clock and getting out of Oklahoma with a win for the first time since 2006. You don't think that's big time stuff? I thought one of the most interesting things was Cole Kubelik tweeting out, like, we're complaining. And not complaining, but it's like we as fans, we just want to see Nico go out and throw for 400 yards, right? We want to see it. It's fun. It's fun. But when Cole Kubelik tweeted out that only 2 teams in the country are top 5 in scoring defense and offense, and it's Tennessee and Ohio State, What else matters other than scoring points and preventing the other team from scoring points? That's it.
That's it. That's it. We're averaging more points than anyone per game. The offense is running at a really good level. Of course, we'll get a better grasp of the true number as we continue to get deeper into this thing. But I think we're going to put up points against Arkansas. I think we're going to put up points against Florida. So we'll see. And the better our run game can be, the better it will serve Nico in games like Alabama and Georgia.
Let's see here. Knoxville Buckhopper too says, wish Oklahoma had eased my BVS, but it hasn't. I'm a bad fan. Nobody's a bad fan. Nobody's a bad fan. Like people that are stressed and nervous and anxious. And look, I'll probably be that way tomorrow. Usually right before kickoff, I'm like, okay, I've ran my mouth all week long in confidence. What happens when they drop this game? Like, are we going to win? BVS is real, and it's because we've been through 20 years of misery, but it's also why I preach at people when they're complaining after a win over a top 15 opponent on the road. Like, there's not a problem with BBS. There's not a problem with being critical. Look, we're critical in post-game shows. 73-0 win over Kent State. We were critical about things in the post-game show, but there's also a lot to celebrate. And that's what I lecture people about. Like, there's no problem with being stressed or anxious or nervous, but to just devalue what this team has done through 4 games is crazy. It's crazy. We're fans. I'm going to celebrate it. Rat poison. We're in a weird place, man. And I think I talked about this a little on Wednesday night. We're in a weird place because we are fans. But for whatever reason, this community, this YouTube channel has blown up and become a place where a lot of Tennessee fans come together and talk about Tennessee football. And my goal, my vision became it being us sitting on the back porch, drinking a beer, talking Tennessee football. And if you're at my house drinking a beer, talking Tennessee football, are you going to sugarcoat things? Or are you going to say, oh, well, Joe Milton, he tried hard? No, you can say Joe Milton sucks. Joe Milton could hit the broadside of a barn. Joe Milton overthrew everybody. That's what this channel is about. But because we've blown up and gotten so big, yeah, there are players that watch this show. There are, family members that watch this show. But that's not our problem, Coach Jay. That's on Josh Heupel. It is up to Josh Heupel to have his team dialed in, focused, and ready to go.
Yeah, and he has, right? So it's hard to even make arguments for times Tennessee has not shown up prepared for when he's been around, right? I guess you could argue South Carolina, but you could also argue against it, I guess, in some ways that there were external issues going on, whether you are full on the Sports Talk J train or if you think there was an issue with Banks in the locker room. Who knows, right? But point is, we've really, really seemed dialed in and ready to go for most all games. And this team seems to have a lot of, as you mentioned earlier, senior leadership, right? If there's a moment, I feel like, where someone on this team was getting too hyped and not giving it the respect it deserves, I would think someone like Big O or Mays could quickly snap someone back in the line and bring them back to focus and explain to them, not only what it's like to drop to a South Carolina team and lose your chance at a playoff, but also to remind them of what it used to look like around here and kind of what you're fighting for.
Got a $20 super chat from UT Punkin. That's an Orange Boy. I love Orange Boys around here. Let's play the clip.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
He says, first thing I want to say is that Sam Pittman grew up in a middle-class family. Secondly, Arkansas does not have a 17-year-old playing for them. And as always, what can be unburdened by what has been said. Thank you, UT Punkin, for the super chat. I like me some Sam Pittman, man. I really don't have anything against Arkansas. I'm not condoning it now, but I like to have me a good old cold beer, and I'll probably have a couple tonight. Like, what a dude, man. Like, it's so funny. Like just straight up offensive lineman attitude and mentality. And I love that. I'm here for it. Look, we talked about this on Wednesday night. I put a vote in the chat and I said, what do you guys want to do about watching Josh Heupel's press conference? I do it every single Monday. I watch the post-game press conference. You guys want to change the subject? You do it. You drop super chat to say, I would rather talk about this. And then we hit that. We talk about it. Then we come back to the video. We provide commentary over that. And you guys seem to like it. And I asked you Wednesday and you said, yes, do it. Well, we didn't have time to get to it Wednesday. I asked Coach Shea, said, yeah, let's fire it up. Let's play it. Let's go through it. So that's what we're going to do here on this Friday morning show. We're going to listen to Josh Heupel's press conference about Arkansas from earlier this week. Yeah, I'm not here to talk about that.
He looks excited.
Doesn't he always? I love
Yeah.
watching these because it provides so much gold that you can jump into. Let's here we go.
Print and so our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody, and again, hopefully everybody gets back to normal as quickly as possible. For us, guys got back in the building today. Had good workout on the grass as we push forward to get ready for Arkansas. First of all, I know it's going to be a great environment there. This is a really good football team. They're a couple of plays away from being undefeated. You look at the way that they played this past weekend. They're playing extremely physical, both sides of the line of scrimmage. Defensively, one of the best teams in the country defensively and offensively. They're rushing the football about as good as anybody, and they've created plays on special teams. So huge test for us this week to prepare the right way and get ready to go play our best football. I'll open it up.
Yeah, he looks like he just rolled out of bed. I just want to address this real quick. Brandon says, Boogie, we need boots on the ground on game day. We need you out there in the trenches, getting interviews, footage, etc. It would be cool. Selfishly, that would be cool. I was talking to Kaner about this off the air, and it's like, man, selfishly, it would be cool to be able to take in those environments and see, be close and be around the team. But then I'm not here doing this. Like, if I'm at the game, there's no post-game show. If I'm at the game, there's no tailgate show. It completely takes away what our vision for Talkin Vols is. I don't want to be media. I don't want to hold a microphone up to Josh Heupel. I don't want to ask Josh Heupel a question. That's what VolQuest can do, and Go Vols 247 and all the media guys, they can do that. They can provide the footage, and we'll hang out and talk. That's just why. Like, I get it. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Boogie, take over and be the voice of the Vols." That's not. I have no desire or passion to do that. My passion has always been YouTube. It's always been YouTube, and it's started not even being Tennessee football. It started a completely different direction. But then when one meets the other, and my passion for YouTube comes to my passion of being a Tennessee fan, we were off to the races. So just wanted to address that, Brandon. That's where we're going to stay with this channel. That's what we're going to do. I love this community, and I don't want to change a dang thing.
Start up front with Ryan and here.
Did you accomplish what you wanted to during the bye week? Was it a successful off date?
Yeah, I thought the guys in the middle of the week worked extremely hard. They were intentional in the way that we went into meetings, trying to improve upon some of the things that we need to in all three phases of the game. Practice was really crisp. The weekend off got them a chance to, physically continue to heal up as we get ready for this week. Mentally, they get a little bit of a break as well. So all in all, really good.
Just thinking about that real quick, just in that little span, intentional, all three phases, got to heal up and rest, just coachism after coachism, because Heupel doesn't like to give the media too many nuggets. I love it.
That's what's so funny about all the Lance Hurd stuff. Like, I was reading a thread on VolQuest. There are people that truly believe both sides of that 100%. There are people that believe that his agent told him to hold out, so he didn't play, and Heupel told him to stay home. And then there are people that 100% believe, oh, guys, you're crazy. Tinfoil hat conspiracy theories. He's hurt. It's his ankle. He can't play. And that just goes to what you always talk about with Heupel. He's running his program the right way, because very limited. Look, information leaks. Information's always going to leak, but when it leaks, nobody can confirm it. Like, nobody can confirm it. He does a great job covering up the information. Chase for 5 says Arkansas's version of Eric Kane devoted a whole section of his show to basketball already. They know what's up. Dude, it popped up on my YouTube feed for some reason, and it's like it makes me laugh every time somebody like this plays Tennessee. The title of his show this morning was "The Reasons Why I Hate Tennessee," and it's like it's all like hate clicks. It's like, let's see if I can milk this Tennessee fan base, because they're so much better than my fan base, and that's it's so comical. But I've not seen any Arkansas fans that have confidence that they're going to win this game.
Neither have I.
Josh, you mentioned Arkansas having one of the better defenses in the country. What makes them so effective and aggressive? I think it's been 9 turnovers so far.
Yeah, well, that's the first part. They've created a bunch of turnovers. I think they play extremely hard. All three levels of the defense are tied in on the run game. They've done a really good job against the rush, and they've done a really good job on third downs too. So
they make it difficult to go, create and pick up first downs and create explosive plays.
They force turnovers, and I didn't look to see, because I thought it was interesting, the rushing numbers that they struggled to run against Auburn, Texas A&M. I didn't look at the turnovers to see where those turnovers came, if they came.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to look
Bluff.
up.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. They're terrible against the pass, and I do think it's funny. Heupel mentioned, they're really good against the run. They force turnovers. He didn't mention the pass because they are absolutely terrible against the pass, like really bad against the throw game. There's another Butchism for you. Sacks per game, 60th in the country. TFLs, 88th in the country. I think our offensive line, if healthy, if Lance Hurd is healthy and John Campbell can stay healthy, I think our offensive line pushes them around.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I also think that our offensive line can tire them out. I think if we move with a physical run game, passes over the top, we can really, really wear that Arkansas D line out. That's built a little more around size than it is speed, in my opinion.
And if Addison Nichols couldn't play here,
he's got a high sprain, or a low sprain, or he's got a sprained ankle, I believe. And he does start. He's the starting center.
Yeah, I thought he started.
And aren't they like out of tight ends too? I think I read like they've got 3 tight ends out, something like that.
But if he can't start here, what does that say our defensive line's going to do? Our defensive line's going to eat. They're going to eat. It'll be a line of scrimmage game. And it might be a game that we come out of saying, well, he's not winning the Heisman. I got problems with this. Who freaking cares? Just win.
I love Nico, but I just want to win more than I want him to win the Heisman. And I think he'll have his season of true stats no matter what. So I'm not really worried about it. The kid's a freshman. Let him keep operating the offense at a high level. Let them keep succeeding and doing what they need to do, and the rest will come organically.
Coach, just 4 games in and with an off week, a chance to kind of reset and look at things. How has your overall depth worked out through 4 games based kind of on what your perception was back in August?
Yeah, I feel like the guys that have been playing have continued to grow. There's obviously areas that we need to continue to improve on. That's everybody that's stepping on the field. I think the rotation has helped us both sides of the football, and got a lot of young guys who are playing a lot of meaningful snaps on special teams. I think those guys continue to improve. As this season goes on, man, you never know when your opportunity's going to come. You're going to get thrust into the middle of it, and so continuing to prepare the right way, which this team's had that right mindset, and that depth is important as you go through this conference schedule.
I think it's a note I've had the last couple of weeks is about taking teams into deep water. I really think we've done a good job of that. And of course, what I mean by it is just keeping our guys fresh. This will be, if we're going to win this thing, guys, it's going to be 16 games. That's a long season. You need fresh bodies. You need guys who haven't been spent. Can you imagine the 2021 team, Boogie, trying to play 16 games with the depth that we had?
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. The injuries would build up too much. By the time you got to that 16th game, you'd have more holes in it than Florida State in their bowl game last year. That would be really, 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 really bad if that were the case.
And too, part of it is they're fresh and they're hungry. And it's like, Idris Farouk, seeing him when he gets in a game, and he is hungry to go make a play. Like, I know we've talked a lot about Jason Jenkins and the fact that he played 7 snaps against Oklahoma, 7 snaps, and he had 2 tackles. He had a half a sack. He had a tackle and a half for loss, and he had a safety. That was a stat line for a defensive lineman that played 7 snaps. He gets in there. He takes advantage of his opportunities. When I was talking to Culberson yesterday, man, again, and just to promote the dynasty and how much fun we're playing on EA Sports College Football. And if you want to get in, we're about to start the 2nd season. There's still room. The Patreon is in the link's in the description below. I talked to him on the headset for 2 hours. The game took 45 minutes. Me and Culberson sat there and shot the bull for 2 hours. And we were talking about James Pierce. And he was saying, do you think it's getting to him that he's not checked off that first sack? I said, I don't know that it's getting to him, but I bet he's hungry. I bet he wants that first sack. I bet he's going to be getting after it. What do you think about James Pierce? I saw, Kaner brought it up on the Locked On Vols show this morning that PFF projected him as outside the top 10 now. Who cares? He's going to be a first-round draft pick.
The draft pick, I've given up trying to figure out what Mel Kiper and all them are looking at sometimes. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes they completely miss the boat. And I think teams can be guilty of it too for whatever reason. It's about optimization sometimes as a program, and you can get so fixated on what your program needs and not the talent in front of you. But I can tell you this, the more I look at what James Pierce is doing, and I did a lot of film study for this game coming up where I isolated the D-line. James Pierce has been elite about 75% of the time that he's been on the field. So sacks, it's one of those things like I was just talking about with Nico. I don't think there's anything wrong with the performance. I just think for whatever reason it hasn't happened organically, and it will. But I'm over the moon with so far. So I got no problem with it, absolutely none. And if someone does, we can go over some film together. I don't know what to say. That's all I got.
That's a pretty good response.
One quick note, Boogie, just because I had to look. Arkansas had zero turnovers against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
There you go. Wait, they forced 0 turnovers?
Yeah, they forced
That's
0
interesting.
turnovers.
Interesting.
Yeah, so most of them have been fumbles. Between Auburn, A&M, and Oklahoma State, they've 2 fumbles a game, so a total of 6 fumbles. 1 INT in all 3 of those games as well. So for whatever that's worth.
That ruins that narrative that I wanted to run with. So thanks for that.
Sorry.
Thanks for that.
Sorry.
But if you could please go back to that, telling people that they can break down film with you. One of these days, I'm gonna keep you on this channel long enough that one of these days you're gonna become bitter and let one comment set you off, and you're gonna yell at somebody. And I'm here for it. That's the type of content I'm here for. All right, let's hear more from Josh Heupel. Look, he looks so happy again. Look, man, he is.
Yeah, he's feeling.
Josh, on the touchdown drive the other day, where Dylan scored on the 1-yard touchdown, he got the ball every play of that drive. Is there any way that he's grown over the past 3 years that makes him a guy that can grind out those 3-4 yard carries in a long drive?
First of all, he's always been an elite competitor, been able to reset and go play the next play. I do think his offseason this year, continuing to add size and strength to his frame, has allowed him to handle a situation a little bit different than, his freshman year would have played out. But he's got great trust in the guys in front of him. We have great trust in him. And, on that drive, obviously he was a difference maker during the course of that drive.
Josh, obviously you played this game too, and as a player, when you start a season, 4-0, things look like, at least from the wins and losses perspective, going the way you want them to go. Where's the right place to be as a player in terms of having confidence in that growing week by week, but kind of understanding the bigger picture and how much work there is left?
The right place to be is right here, right now, being in the present. You can look at the scoreboard from this past weekend and really every weekend across America. You have to be an elite competitor every single day. You got to prepare the right way. That's why it's important that you have a routine. You have to practice with great urgency. You got to finish the week the right way. You got to have the same competitive makeup, the same competitive DNA every single day. And you have to show up when you buckle your chin strap and the ball gets teed up. You better have that on game day too. Otherwise, the separation in this game, it's really tough. They got, scholarships. They got really good coaches too. The separation inside of this league they're small margins. You got to win in the margins in this league.
Like, that's so much coach speak, and that's really him
game of inches
addressing the rat poison and the overlooking Arkansas and that type of stuff. And it is coach speak, but when you get with your team and you do go about things the right way and you do handle your business and you do practice the same day in and day out, and nobody does. Nobody on this planet that's ever played any sport ever practices perfect every week. It's life happens. Sometimes your mind's not in it. Sometimes your heart's not in it. But if you can get the most out of your football team, and again, the perfect example for me was Jake Merklinger. When you're getting ready to play Arkansas and you're like, did Arkansas or Texas A&M win that game? Like, you're so focused on what your job is going in, and I get it. He's a freshman. He's probably not going to play, but he's still like I think we talk about culture and we preach it. And I think it also goes a long way that Josh Heupel did play the game at an elite level. He knows what it takes to win a national championship. He knows. He's been there. You know, you were talking about some of the veterans saying this is what it's supposed to look like. Josh Heupel knows what it's supposed to look like, and I think his team feeds off that.
Yeah, and I've heard him talk about that Oklahoma team. Shoot, we've been around for a while. We remember that Oklahoma team. That Oklahoma team was a team that played for each other and played with passion, and had to win some really tough games in some tough spots, and really fought hard for each other. Had a really good defense, and Heupel, what a leader he was on that football field too.
Coming off of a 7-5 season when nobody gave him a chance. I loved hearing his teammates say Heupel's rallying us up during summer workouts saying we're going to win a national championship, and they're like, no, we're not. But they're like, but Heupel believed it, and they followed that leadership.
And that's just it, right? Is you have to believe it. You have to have buy-in as a coach. You always hear people talking about trying to get your team to buy in and the kids buying in. Well, guess what? If you don't really believe it and buy in and think it and practice it every day, those kids are hard to fool, man. Right? What Pikel say? You can't fake that, right? There's just no way to possibly fake that culture. It has to be authentic, and it is right now for Tennessee. You wish you could just bottle it up and wear it around your neck forever, because it's a great time to be a Tennessee football fan with this team bought in how they are.
Brad drops a super chat, and you notice the amount. This guy and his need to be seen, his need to be at the top, he knows he's been around long enough to know that I set the stream up usually 2 hours before we go live. So he's usually sitting in front of a keyboard so he can be the first comment. So when I go back to read the early arrivals, he gets to hear his name. He drops $20.01 so that he can be at the top of the leaderboard for the top donation of the stream. I need somebody to donate $20.02, please. Please, so we can knock Brad off the leaderboard. But it is an Orange Boy, so do we have to?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, we'll play it.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Oh gosh, he says, "Go Big Orange!" And hype we trust. Vols by Fitty. Shout out, Brad. He's a good dude, man. He's been around here for a long, long time. We appreciate you, brother. Even though I like to harass him. Let's hear more. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate the super chat.
What are the challenges defensively? You guys have obviously played well through 4 games. What are the challenges that Arkansas presents, particularly at quarterback, and how difficult is the improv plays to prepare for?
He's had a cough for 4 years.
Dynamic playmaker with the ball in his hands. That's design quarterback runs. It's read game, which can be first or second level reads for him. It's when plays break down. He's got the ability to escape, outrun people, get outside of the pocket, and make plays. And anytime you're facing a quarterback that's that dynamic, that is, where the game starts for you defensively. You got to, on pass plays, you got to push the pocket, but you can't let him escape. And the quarterback run game, you better have your eyes in the right place, play the play based off of what you're seeing the right way, and then be in a fundamental position to squeeze and go make a play.
So I saw somebody in the chat mention earlier talking about was it the Florida game last year where they used a lot of motion, a lot of misdirection, and he's talking about eyes in the right place here. How much better are these linebackers this year at keeping their eyes in the right place and handling that misdirection? Have we seen a lot of misdirection versus a year ago when you had Elijah Herring out there? So I guess what I'm saying is, how much have we upgraded at linebacker with Keenan Peely healthy and Arian Carter having a year to develop?
I think a lot. I mean, Herring had a problem when he was put into conflict last year, right? Whenever they would bring two players through his zone or give him too much eye candy, he would get stuck in no man's land, and the ball would either get thrown behind him or under him or underneath. We've had a lot more decisive play out of Arian Carter and Keenan Peely. They are a lot more adept in the pass game. Certainly even more than someone like Banks was. Banks was great against the run, don't get me wrong, but his throw game defense had left a little something to be desired.
Yeah, I brought you on board.
There you go. I'm here for it.
Let me catch up with you guys. Dave Morrison's been a member for 16 months. We appreciate you, Dave. Noah drops a 50, and he doesn't even say anything. See, that's what we're here to do. We're here to knock Brad off his little pedestal. And Noah James said, "Here's $50." And then he later said, "Well, can I have an orange boy instead?" Let me tell you something, Noah. And it's not because you dropped 50. It's because you disrespected Brad. We'll play both of them.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
And then one more laugh at Brad getting knocked off his pedestal. Shout out Noah James. $50 ain't cheap. We appreciate that super chat. Let's see. What do y'all think, man? Y'all digging this on a Friday morning? Us going through the midweek press conference? I don't know if I don't know if it's better to put it here, if it's better to put it Wednesday. I just think it opens up conversation, right?
Like it does.
We can feed off of whatever he says, and then we can talk about it. I think it makes the stream flow better. I like it.
And he's always good to pause on. Like you never get a bad pause out of
every time.
Every time.
And it's just angry. It's all anger.
Love it.
Noah says do it on Friday. All right, we'll do it somewhere. Friday's probably better because Wednesday we got 4 people on there. And y'all know how Dauber is. He never shuts up, so we could never get through it.
Wait.
I'm just kidding. Shout out Dauber. Not that he ain't listening if he's not on here. You kidding me? Dauber ain't listening to this show. Here we go.
Obviously, the year's a grind, getting all the way through the Oklahoma game and all that came with that. You get an off weekend. What kind of things did the Heupel family do at all to somehow?
Oh, he smiled. They talked about his family.
Yeah, the weather didn't cooperate quite the way I would have liked to, but got a chance on Saturday. Spend a bunch of time with my kids and wife, and played catch and watched a couple of games and had a great weekend with them.
Maybe Wayne's on to something.
I love that it's every bye week, man. Every bye week. Why do they keep asking him? They keep asking him, "You going to watch any football this weekend?" He's like, "No, I'm going to take this one break that I get from recruiting my own team, recruiting high school kids, recruiting transfer portal kids, trying to figure out how to scheme up Arkansas. I'm going to take this one little tiny small break, and I'm going to spend it with my family." I love it. Ball Fan for Life for 2 says it's not anger, it's concentration.
Yeah, I will say this. I will say this though. The 22 season, Coach Heupel spent a little time on the break going to see Nico trounce someone in his homecoming game. So he did that. That was the thing.
And he hung out with Austin Price.
Yeah, and ate cheese fries or whatever it was that Austin ate. I think it was cheese fries. Might have been cheese
don't
fries.
Start talking about food. I'm gonna end up going somewhere tonight.
Some good, like where they put the nacho cheese on the fries.
Oh yeah, with some bacon.
Good,
some bacon.
Oh, yep.
And then if you put chives on top, like just that little bite of green. Oh.
And it was funny because I was wearing my Tennessee gear and I'm there sitting there wanting to talk to Austin Price, and I didn't because his daughter was there with him. I don't want to bug him, but I can't tell you how many kids at Warren High School walked up to me and were like, "You're a scout? Are you a scout? Can you come watch my Pop Warner game?" I was like, "Dude, I'm not a scout."
You should have said yes.
Yeah,
dude.
I should have just gone with it. Yeah, my name is Sharky McGee, and I'm the scout out of Knoxville.
I have a sick obsession, which I've not done in a while, but we used to go to minor league baseball games in town, and I would take a scorebook and I would
Oh.
keep the score. And my wife's
play
like
the
so
role.
embarrassed,
Just
and
play
like
the role.
people are like looking at me if I'm sitting behind. They're like,
Binoculars.
yeah.
You got binoculars, keeping stats.
It's like, what type of loser goes to a minor league baseball game and keeps the scorebook? And it's like, and we always left early. We would go to so many games. We would just go for something to do, and then we would leave early. And I've got my halfway filled out scorebook. Oh man, sick obsession. Tyler Maxwell for 2. Next 3 weeks define our season. Love y'all, GBO. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. It's going to be a big October, man. Big October. But I think they're going to take care of business this weekend. They're going to take care of business against Florida. Josh Pate laughing, saying, some of the people in my circle that are Tennessee fans are already looking straight ahead to Alabama. Yep, I'm one of them. I'm right here. I'm with you. Man, that freaking Alabama game is going to be huge. Going to be huge. You're undefeated in Neyland Stadium, though. You're undefeated. That's the lucky charm.
Yep. No, he said it. October is going to be a huge month, right? Because you win the next 2 games, you're really, really close to obtaining your goal. I think you're pretty much 2 victories away at that point, right, from making it to the playoffs. So October is going to be a huge, huge month.
You win. If you beat Alabama, you win. Let's say you win the next 3 games, right? I'm gonna pull up the schedule here just so I know exactly where each game's at. But if let's say you win the next 3 games, you're 7-0. Now I think you can start talking about trap games. And what would be? I think Kentucky would be a huge trap game. But again, just like this Arkansas game, it's coming off of a bye week. And I mean, I think that's huge for Tennessee. And then it's going to be a night game in Neyland. You're 7-0. I don't think that's a trap game. Mississippi State, maybe. That may be the one game on the schedule that I could say, okay, that could be a very, very realistic trap game. Because if you beat Kentucky and now all of a sudden you're 8-0 and you got Mississippi State sandwiched in there before you go on the road to Athens to play Georgia, that could be one that could be a true trap game.
Yeah. But I think we handle them too. You just got to love how this schedule lays out in front of Tennessee, man. It, like you mentioned with the bye, that's huge before Kentucky. It gives you that whole extra week prepare for what they're doing. We've seen to have had their number and held something over them because we're their daddy. So I think we'll be just fine. And yeah, if you want to leave no doubt, win them all. If you want to leave a little tiny bit of doubt, just win one of those big 2 against Alabama and Georgia. But I think we could dance even if we lost them both. Not that I think that will happen. I don't. I think we will win one of those games, but we're right where we want, man. We have to execute over the next 3 weeks. I agree with the previous comment.
Josh, you've talked about Nico as he grows into the role, getting better and better over the course of the season. Where have you seen him improve over the first month of the season, and where are some other steps you just want to see him take as you go on?
Yeah, continued growth, taking care of the football. It's presented itself different ways. At the end of the day, he's got to make it right. And, at times that means not turning a negative play into one that kicks us in the butt. And, it's okay.
I bet he said something else.
To go punt the football. He's got really good command and understanding of what we're doing, seeing different structures than what we've seen during the course of the week on film, being able to adjust during the course of the game. Love a lot of what we've seen. The great thing about him at this point is great competitive composure, goes and plays the next play, independent and free. He's handled himself well on the road. He and the offense have some areas we can continue to grow in that area. That will be another big challenge with this football game, heading to Fayetteville and understanding the type of environment we're going to get ready to go play.
Understanding that their quarterback does like to scramble or have those run design plays, how important is it to have guys like Keenan Peely continue to produce at the level that they have?
All 3 levels of the defense got to be tied in together. Your first and second level in particular got to do a great job of bottling them up in the run game. But when he drops back and pass, rush integrity, that can be off your pressures. It can be off your twist game. It can just be a base 4-man rush. You got to push the pocket. You got to make them uncomfortable. At the same time, you got to keep them bottled up.
What do you want a guy like Larry Johnson to build off of from the Oklahoma game? What's the next step that you would like to see him take for you?
Yeah, there's some things that he did at a really high level. But just like any young player, you take those experiences, the snaps that you get, how can I be better? And that can be in the pass game. It can be in our run game. Continued growth from those guys. Some of the successes, some of the things that maybe he didn't do at a really high level on certain plays. Again, it's all 11 guys operating as one. It can be communication, it can be bumping off twists, whatever it is. All 11 got to operate as one.
Did you pay much attention to Larry Johnson, or did you go back? Because I know Coach Rice, when he did his rewatch, he was pretty high on the way Larry Johnson played. And for some reason, for me, like when I think of Larry Johnson, other than Grandmama, I think about, well, he's a JUCO guy. For some reason, I feel like he's like a junior. Dude's a redshirt sophomore. He's a guy that we're going to need. I don't know that he's necessarily – maybe he does start at tackle next year, but you got Hurd, who's a sophomore, Larry Johnson, redshirt sophomore. Of course, you got Big Dave Sanders coming in, Bennett Warren. They like where Jesse Perry's at. But what did you pay attention to Larry Johnson?
Yeah, I did, and I thought he played well in spots for sure. It feels like the game's still moving a little quickly in his mind, in my opinion. Like the play will happen, and sometimes he's like, oh crap, this is where I got to shuffle to, or oh crap, this is where I'm pulling on this play. It's like it's just a split second quicker than it's like his mind is just a second behind what his feet are doing. So, or maybe I said that in reverse, but you know what I mean? Like the game's just not slowed down for him quite yet. But man, he's a huge body. His feet have taken really, really well to the coaching so far, because he is light years above where he was as a recruit as far as his footwork goes. So I am highly encouraged that it can continue to get better. And with him being younger, he could be a huge asset to this team moving forward, because he is a true gigantic tackle body.
Rocky Top Tom, speaking of offensive lineman, for 5 says, I missed this entire dang thing. Well, lucky for you, Tom, you can go back and start it from the beginning. It ain't going nowhere. He says, agreed, Coach Jay. The guys execute like French revolutionaries. The next few weeks, we're golden. Stay golden, Pony Boy. We appreciate the super chat, Rocky Top Tom. Can you tell me what that's from?
What? I know the movie. I can picture the cover. Is it The Outsiders? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I
just
Friday
couldn't.
mornings hit
I could
different.
see the movie poster. I just couldn't think of the name there for a second.
Because we're the same age, we get the same
Yeah.
references. We grew up on the
Yeah.
same movies. When you were talking about Heupel and the Oklahoma National Championship, like, man, when it shows those clips, I'm like, we are so old. And then I think about the program, and that's the type of uniforms they wore in the program. We're getting old. Stay golden, Pony Boy. Let's hear more.
You talked about the quarterback for Arkansas, but the run game has been really effective. What makes that part of their offense so effective with that offensive line?
Their schedule.
Their offensive line's playing at a high level.
That'd be hilarious.
But he's got the ability to make the numbers right for them. Anytime the quarterback run game's a part of it, you get a chance to make the numbers right. And so you got to play, gap integrity, assignment sound, but then you also got to disrupt blocks, get off and go make a play. His speed, how dynamic of a player he is, makes that a difficult thing to do, because he's got the ability at times to just outrun the defender.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Did you mean it, Josh? Do you want to? No, I'm just...
Y'all have a great day. I wish you would have grabbed the Coke.
I love it.
He should have
That
grabbed
would
the
have been
Coke
awesome.
instead of the
That
water.
Coke looked warm, though. It looked warm.
I wonder if it's just the same bottles. I bet it's just the same bottles every week. Remember when he had that purple drink? He had like a water, but it had like some type of purple mix sprinkled in it.
Got that purple drink.
Got that purple
drink.
drink. Bruce Nutley becomes a member of the channel. Shout out, Bruce. We appreciate you. Thank you for the support. You guys hit that join button. We're on a membership drive. We made a commitment. We're going to give away a free t-shirt every month of one of the members of the channel. It'll be randomizer Google and we'll announce it probably middle of the month on a Wednesday night show. So all the members will be entered to win. Speaking of merchandise, you can go check out man. Can we start that over? Speaking of merchandise, you can go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. So you can look at Coach Jay's head and see a Talkin VAWLS hat. We got shirts, we got hoodies, we got tank tops, whatever you want. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is in the description below. You can see some of the merchandise there on the screen. Knoxville, Tennessee, the chosen one, Colt of 8. I love this Talkin VAWLS letter shirt. Colt member shirt, because we are a Colt here. Drink the Kool-Aid, the orange Kool-Aid. That's what we need, is a drink the Kool-Aid. Drink the orange Kool-Aid shirt. We've got some offensive shirts. Look, we're an offensive bunch around here. FUGA, because we don't like Georgia. I mean, that's why. So we made a shirt that stands for forget about Georgia. That's what it means. Gator hater, TriStar, whatever you want. Buck Fama, again, offensive. Political, man, y'all want to talk about an election. There is a huge vote coming up, and there is only one right vote. That is Boogie and Dauber in 2024. After the election is over, this shirt is gone, and it is gone forever. I think next election, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and we're all still here together. Maybe we'll do a Boogie Dauber shirt and a Coach J, Coach Rice shirt. And we'll see who sells more. I think you guys will probably win in a landslide. Go check it out, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Again, the link to all that stuff is in the description below. It's Friday, so you guys know what that means. We're going to wrap up the show with a little bit of gambling advice. Not that we don't condone it. We don't condone gambling, just like Sam Pittman don't condone drinking, but he's going to have himself a couple of cold burrs after a win. Not this weekend. He's going to have a couple of cold beers to drown his sorrows. All right, what do we got this week? And we'll see if I can find it on the screen. I highly doubt it. Actually, how did you do last week?
I did good. I crushed last week. I was on that Illinois train, heavy once again. I admittedly didn't play a lot of games because I had my own stuff going on, as you know. So I was a little more dialed in on that than worried about gambling on other teams. But I had Illinois. I had you know who else? I bet on the Trojans. They covered against Wisconsin. I had the over in the Oregon UCLA game. Oregon UCLA. I did not hit on that. I came up like 5 points short in that, and that was kind of my week. But what do I have this week? The first game we got is I got an underdog. I got Iowa versus Ohio State.
Do you have these in order of time or not?
Yeah, I believe I do.
Okay, cool.
Now where that game is on here, I'm not.
The heck? I didn't place a
gambling, Boogie. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, you were on it.
Yeah, but I hit to place the bet. Maybe I should place the bet.
Iowa getting 18. I like it. I like it a lot. I think this is a good spot. I think Iowa's defense is good. I think their offense can finally score. I know it's a crazy concept. I get it, guys. Ohio State's good. I get being afraid of this. But I promise you, Ohio State is looking at that Oregon game coming up next week. This is the definition game of a trap game. I think Ohio State wins. They could even win by 2 touchdowns, but I don't think they win by 3. They could even win by 2 touchdowns and a field goal, but I don't think they win by 3 touchdowns. I like this spot for Iowa. The next game I like is Indiana -13 against Northwestern. I like Indiana in this game. There you go. You were just past it. One more. There you go. Northwestern, for those of you who don't know, they are redoing their football stadium. They're basically playing at a high school field right now. Northwestern is terrible, and Indiana is clicking. Indiana is one of 3 or 4 teams that have covered every single week. Illinois is another team, and of course our Tennessee Volunteers have covered the number every single week. I think Indiana continues to roll in this game, so I like Indiana. Moving on, Clemson -14.5 versus Florida State University. Florida State's just got problems. It's written all over the place. Yep.
Just
So I
go
like
on.
Clemson minus 14.5. Yeah.
Go on to the next one.
Yeah. Oh,
It's up to
15.
it's up to
Moved
minus
all
15.
yeah, see, the numbers know it. Next, our good friend Butch Jones at Arkansas State. Sorry, Butch. South Alabama is going to get you. I like South Alabama minus the 3 points against Butch Jones. More times than not, Butch Jones finds a way to lose a game that should be won at home, and I think that's why South Alabama is favored in this spot. I think South Alabama has been feisty all year. I really like them to get it done against Ark State this week, minus 3. Moving on, got 2 more for you guys. Of course, you got to ride Tennessee. Yeah, I agree, Wayne. I agree. And did Boogie get kicked out? We can talk gambling. That's fine. Vols minus 13.5. I like Tennessee to cover that number. And of course, your USC Trojans. Now, I will say this. USC opened at 8. That line went up to 9, went back down to 8, then to 7. I like USC if it's under 10, but if the second it hits 10, I like Minnesota. So it's a bit of a tough margin games, which for me means maybe I'll just lay off of it, but it's kind of one I'm looking at for possibly a late parlay. So yeah.
What was this? 3 weeks doing the gambling segment. We still can't do it right. I hit back to go back on the gambling, and I was on StreamYard. So I went back on StreamYard is what I did.
That's it. I could have talked gambling for a lot longer. I was going to go back to Ohio State and debate with Elijah, but that's okay. That's okay.
We'll save that for another day. Hey,
Yeah,
it's Friday
you might
morning.
end up being right. Ohio State's good. They can play, but I do like the points there and the spot. The spot is more important to me than the teams.
Yeah. Trap games. Rat poison. That's what we're talking about on a Friday morning. Gambling advice. We don't condone gambling. I love these Friday morning shows. They hit different. We hold Coach Jay back from you guys. You guys can't get access to Coach Jay until Friday morning. So y'all are fired up for Talking Vols on a Friday morning. You can also hang out with Coach Jay by joining us on the EA Sports College Football Dynasty. The link to the Patreon is in the description. Link to merchandise. I saw somebody in the chat laughing, saying I'm creating haters by plugs and chills. Dude, somebody was angry at me because what do I spend on a show? This is an hour and 17 minutes. I may have spent 2 minutes doing plugs and chills. He was like, man, he was dropping F-bombs and everything. Like, I get it. If you're watching this, if you've made it through the hour and 17 minutes, you're still here, you're going, man, why is it every live stream Boogie plays 5 minutes of clips for an intro? I do that because it is a live stream, and there's 20 of you guys waiting when we go live. And by the time we get through that 5 minutes, there's 250, 300 of you guys. That way you are here when the show starts. That's why I do it, whether people like it, hate it, or indifferent. We're going to keep doing it because that's smart YouTube business. So I'm sorry if you don't like it. If it's a replay, guess what? Just know it's always going to be about 4 or 5 minutes. Just skip it. That's all you got to do. But I'm always going to plug and chill because I got to pay the bills. That's just the way it is. But we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Game day breakdown coming your way bright and early tomorrow morning. Tailgate show an hour before kickoff. Post-game show clearly immediately following the game. Day after video will drop early Sunday morning, and then the fan call-in show is going to be Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. For Coach Jay, I almost said for Coach Rice. It just rolls off the tongue. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
That we call